calling the meeting to order at 10:12 on August 3rd. Roll call by the clerk, please. Melissa Curran.
Elaine Lemoyne.
Janet Wilson.
Marie Riley.
Sharon Blair.
Thank you. We're going to have a moment of silence for the sick and departed. Okay. Acceptance of minutes for today, there will be none. Sharon, can we have a director's report, please?
Sure. The minutes that were handed out, are these are not
The
you're
July
not
meeting.
accepting the minutes?
Not accepting the minutes today.
Okay, because I did notice there's an error in there, so.
Okay.
I don't actually have too much, but I did want to formally introduce our newest employee, Melissa Quirk, who is our program coordinator, our community outreach / program coordinator. She's here in white, most of you know her, and thrilled to have her on board. She's been overseeing all our programs, as her name title implies, but she's also taken over the newsletter, and soon will be unleashed on the Wareham community to help us identify and start working with partners and all that other good stuff. So thrilled to have her and relieved to have her, and everything is good. So very happy about that.
Welcome.
So Sharon Frank isn't here today, but I did want to announce that the Executive Office of Elder Affairs, which is the state branch that oversees all COAs and everything related to elder services in the state, recognized her in her award, her Lifetime Achievement Award for volunteering in their most recent newsletter. So that went to everybody, and I've never seen them do that before. So I told her she's now famous, and we're going to do a fundraiser with her doing autographs, and she was not thrilled. So we're doing a barbecue in September on the 18th, and our friends at the Elks, I'm really excited to be exploring a new partnership with them. They are going to host and cover the costs of the hamburgers and hot dogs. So we're very grateful for them, to them. And we are hoping that they will also host us in October for a country fest, which would be a live singer, and Marge, our line dance instructor, will teach dances to go to the songs that the singer does, and we'll have chili and just have a fun time. So the event will happen, but whether it happens here or happens at the Elks, I don't know. And that's really about all I have. I did have some questions about things like Marge is looking for the steps that she used to use for her classes, and I don't know where they are.
They might be in the back room.
Okay.
Saw something up atop one of the cabinets.
Okay.
We're doing our shifting around.
Okay, awesome.
Check
So
that.
that'd be great. She's been trying to find those. And the other thing, and we can table this, and Sharon Frank is not here, but the distribution, the bulk distribution of the Beacon newsletters, the list, we need to revisit the quantities that are delivered, because apparently, like the ones going to the Housing Authority, they're not getting used. And we're really tight in the office. We always run out. And it's more important that they be here where people are coming specifically for COA information, that we have them, especially if they're not getting used wherever they're being dropped off. So we kind of have to revisit that list and the quantities we're sending, and maybe add some places, maybe take some off. I mean, housing obviously makes sense. It's a senior community, but if they're not interested, maybe we're not bringing them to the right place. Maybe we're just bringing too many. So we can talk specifics about that next time. And that is about all I have.
Thank you. All right. The next we have procedure for board member applications, and I just wanted to have a discussion on maybe potentially developing a process that we have. I think right now, you know, there's been a lot of changes, and certain things have fallen through the cracks through no fault of our own. But if we had a procedure in place on how to do it, anyone could pick up and follow. So currently, it is my understanding that if individuals want to be a board member, they go online, they apply. That gets to the town hall, and then from there, it is forwarded to us. How do we, as board, would like to handle that internally going forward? I think, Elaine, this time around, you sent a note to everyone inviting them to come.
Yes, I did.
I think that's a great idea to keep that as a process. So if we get board member applications, we can come in, we will invite the individuals to attend board meetings. What would be the recommended quantity of number of board meetings you would want these individuals to attend before we make a recommendation?
I'd say at least two.
Yeah,
At
I'd say
least two?
two.
At least two.
Okay, so we'll send an invite, recommend at least two attending
Yeah.
attendance. And then, if at that time, if the applicants are still interested, should we have them notify us of their intended interest? And then at that following board meeting, we can take a vote?
Yeah, that
I
sounds
think
good.
that's a great idea.
Is that okay? So they would send their intention. And then following meeting, we'll take a vote on a recommendation.
Yes.
So, Madam Chair,
Yes.
the Select Board does recommend that candidates attend at least 3 meetings.
3?
Three.
Okay.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't
So
sure.
we will do at least 3 meetings. And then the chair would send the recommendation to the Board of Select?
Yes, what you do, you would interview the person, he or she would be at the 3 meetings and, let you know his or her interest, and then you make a recommendation. Your recommendation is not a guarantee that anybody will be appointed. And that's just the way it is on all of the committees, because that's the way we've been doing it for a long time, and we've discussed it at the Select Board level. We don't see any reason to not be able to either appoint or not appoint people, recognizing that your board, or any other board that makes these recommendations, we probably go along with it, but we've recently had an example where we didn't. So
And in that case, do you give a reason why?
we don't have to give a reason.
You just say, nope.
Right. Because as the appointing authority, it's our responsibility to make sure that the board members meet what we think your job is, okay? So we wouldn't want to put a dump truck owner on conservation as a sort of a silly example, because he might be somebody who does a lot of dump trucking or something, and that's not a good example. How about we wouldn't want to put somebody who's had an oil spill in their business on Concom? That would create a conflict of interest. So that kind of one would be an obvious example, but they are not. The recommendations are not guaranteed to be appointed.
Okay.
Okay, so the chair would would send the recommendation to the board, and then the Board of Select will make the final determination. Okay.
Yes, if it's a reappointment, the person doesn't have to come before us. If it's a new appointment, the recommended appointee would be invited to come to the Select Board meeting and explain why he or she wanted to be on the board. We did that. Tuesday night, we had a young lady who went on the Cultural Council, And she had been to meetings, and she was bouncy and excited, and it was really nice to have somebody there, and none of us knew her. It was great. So we got to meet her at the meeting on Zoom, but yes, that's what happens. So it goes on an agenda for a vote.
I have a question. On the meeting the other night that the Board of Selectmen had, you decided to take away some of our board members' seating?
Correct.
That's on the next. I'm just going to put it on hold.
Oh,
That's on
I'm
next
sorry.
agenda.
On the next agenda?
Next on our list.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. All right, so that would be the process going forward. Do we need a vote on that? No? Okay. All right. So next is board members. So currently, we have 4 applications before us, including yours, Mr. Manise. And up to last night or the night prior, we had a 9-member board with 2 non-members. The Board of Select met, and they had actually reviewed our membership, and they voted to decrease it. So currently, we have 7 board member voting slots and 2 non. What that means is we currently have 7 board members, so that part is full. So we have 2 open non-member positions available. Would you like to ask your question?
Right. Is there a bylaw that we have to go by when you choose to cut down our members?
No, there are several committees that are appointed solely by the Select Board,
Okay.
and they exist solely because of the Select Board. Planning, zoning, conservation, affordable housing trust are not that. But when the Select Board have the total responsibility of appointing members, yes. It's not a bylaw, it's just the way that we've been doing business.
We do have in our bylaws that we submit to the state, and we cannot change our bylaws without them approving that.
Yeah, and your bylaws, if you have submitted them to the state, are not our bylaws. They're not the town of Wareham bylaws. So there's a squidge there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because we appoint, we have the authority to make the change. And one of the reasons we made the change is I went back over several months of minutes, and you've had 6 members present for virtually all of your meetings with 2 or 3 absences. So we did what we did to 5 other councils or boards and reduced their numbers. One went from 21 to 5. One went from 11 to 3 over a period of years. One went from 9 to 7, and one went from 7 to 5, and one went from 9 to 5. So we are looking at all of the boards that we appoint and seeing if they can get enough members. We had one committee that had had 9. They only had 4 members. They can't meet. Legally, they can't meet.
I think you've been coming to the meetings, you've been aware of what's been going on since Sharon has come on as our director.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a ton more people coming into this COA, and a ton more people that are interested in becoming active with the board and becoming active daily or weekly with what's going on here. And we have 4 people to fill those seats that we had, and they are here today to discuss the fact that they want to be here and they would like to be appointed. It has changed radically since Sharon Rice started working here.
Yes.
And we're thrilled that we have the number of people that are interested in coming and working for us, and working for the town, and working for the elderly in the town.
I agree that she's done a spectacular job, and the number of programs is outstanding. It's gone from 0 to 60 in about 10 seconds. So
Yes.
you've done a wonderful job. The problem is that the records show that you haven't been able to fill your 9 members, that you regularly have had 6 people. Now, if you have 22 people who are lined up who'd like to join, then you simply send us a letter back and say, we would like you to reconsider your vote, because we can do that.
Okay.
But based on historical data, that's what we've done to several committees.
Okay, yeah,
I'd like to make a note that there were some reasons that we were having difficulty getting the members to come to the meetings, health things, various things, and we have had interest. Those things have been resolved, and that we've had these 4 applicants be interested. We would like you to reconsider letting us have 9 members or whatever. Yeah, the 9 members that.
Then why don't you make a motion to allow your chair to send a letter of request?
I make a
back.
motion that our chair sends a letter to the select board requesting that we go back to nine people.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
all.
That won't go on an agenda until after the 15th.
Of September?
Yep.
Or August?
No, August, sorry. We're in August.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And based on that, we do have 3 of the potential individuals who would like to join the board. I don't know, would anyone like to come up, reintroduce yourselves? Please.
I'm Carolyn. I'm Carolyn McClure.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hi. Some of you I've not even met. I am a resident of Wareham for the last 10 years, and before that I was a summer resident of Onset for almost 30 years. So I've been around here for quite a few years. I have worked with senior groups. I have been teaching a class here for about 1.5 years. I teach a card-making class. And I currently work Monday afternoons in the office answering the phone. I am well retired, and I have some time, and I'd like very much to get involved with the board. I'd like to see things. I've seen the difference since Sharon has come on board, and I would like to be very much involved with helping out anything she needs to have done. Okay?
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you.
we want to make it painless. Make it painless.
Mr. Smith?
Yeah. Hi.
Hello again.
Hello
Yeah,
again.
right. My first name is William. It's just a long story. So,
Okay, Jim.
I've lived in Onset for 10 years. I've lived many places in the world because that's where the military takes you. I've lived in Scotland, I've lived in the Philippines, I've lived in California, Virginia, I mean, a lot of places. So we came to Onset because my wife and I both were from Massachusetts originally. And we decided, well, since at least 2 of our kids lived up here, actually 3 now, we'd come up back to Massachusetts, and we did 10 years ago. So I've been working on the Meals on Wheels program for a number of years. In fact, I just came from delivering. I kind of rushed over, and you weren't starting on time anyway. So my original interest was because of the problem you already stated, not everybody shows up. You only meet once a month. So, you know, when 2 or 3 people can't have them, why do you have that many? I agree with what was said about the numbers. But if you have a lot of people interested, I'd be glad to be part of it. I have time. I'm retired, supposedly. I do volunteer work in Bourne also. I'm a cashier for a thrift shop at St. Margaret's Church.
Oh,
So it's my day. This is my busy day. Go over there for my shift at 1 o'clock. So those are all volunteer type jobs. And I just want to make a comment. Meals on Wheels has taught me a lot. Loneliness, and I know you probably all know it, loneliness is the most terrible thing we're all dealing with. I deliver to some 21 to 23 people every Monday and Thursday. And I take out their trash, I pick up their mail, I take their rent checks because most of them are handicapped. Most of them don't have family members nearby. And I just don't know how some of these people can sit there an entire day, and I might be the only person they talk to. And I'm not criticizing their family members, it just doesn't work. So I know that's a very important thing to me. And, so if I can do something by being part of this council, I would love to do that. And I know my friend Jim back here, he's lived there forever, but not me. So, like I say, I am a retired military person, so I tend to be a little picky about things on time. I was kind of annoyed this morning when we weren't doing anything on time. I was kind of annoyed that not everybody showed up. That was my original point of interest. So you can't operate, well, I can't operate to it. I had to learn how to be prompt, be on time. On time means 15 minutes early, not on time. So I'm a little picky when we get to do things like that. So anyway, nice to meet you all.
Nice to see you back, Jim.
Thank you for the update.
Oh, you're welcome.
And if I recall right,
William,
both
but
Carol
Jim
and
has a story
Mr.
about
Smith, this is your second meetings with us sitting in, or third?
Oh, my meeting?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the fourth or fifth time. I applied back in
Yes.
February.
Yes.
And it took forever to get to this point. I
He's been here.
finally got an invitation in the mail last week, said, please come to the meeting. And I said, okay, that'll work. But, because I was just assuming nothing was happening, which unfortunately, no comment.
Mr. Moniz, is there anything you would like to say? I know that you have an application open as well.
Oh, sure. Hey, Julie. How are you? Good.
My name is Jim Manise. I live on Cranberry Highway. I've been a resident for like 40-plus years. I've been coming to meetings of the council for a few years, at least 2-3 years here and there, more regularly in the last year. I have an understanding of how the council operates, what goes on in the building, and the programs offered. I think I have a good understanding of processes, town bylaws, and how they affect the structures of boards, and whether the boards were created by town meeting and bylaw, by the Board of Selectmen, and/or are overseen by the appointing authority. So I bring that, and I'm retired, and I enjoy being here and
Playing pool.
playing pool with some of the other people enjoy that, conversation. So I'd like to be part of it. It's good to be active. They say it's healthy to be active and take part in committees and whatnot. I was invited to a meeting in the spring at the Board of Selectmen. No action was taken. I saw it was on the agenda last night. I was not invited to the meeting, probably just an oversight. That's a Board of Selectmen's agenda. And so that's what I'll say here. You're going to have a citizen's comment after this?
Briefly.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I will send the letter to the Select Board requesting that we go back to 9 voting seats with 2 non-voting. In the event that that is declined, we have 3 current applicants out there, potentially 4. I think one other individual just
one other that was unable to make it today for medical reasons, I believe. So there are four applicants, actually. Fourth of the,
So I'm just kind of thinking out loud, and I'm wondering, if we don't have enough seats for all of the applicants, if more of having them find other avenues for them to volunteer their time within the COA organization. If you need help with anything, kind of maybe filling them in utilizing their expertise in maybe some type of that capacity.
We have one applicant that actually does 2 programs with us now. Is that what you're talking about, along the line of working?
Well, programs or helping out in any other ways. I'm just kind of thinking out loud and throwing that out there.
We are always looking for and appreciate help in a variety of ways. So the board is one way, but there are other ways too for people who want to get involved. So we don't turn anyone away.
not hardly.
We appreciate it, seriously. I mean, the place wouldn't run without our volunteers. We're very, very grateful for all the help we get.
And then I'm just thinking out loud of the future. If we have, if we're using the current 7 seats, if we don't have enough members at a town or at one of our meetings where we don't meet the quorum, would one of our non-voting members be able to step up to the plate and become a voting member for that meeting? How would that?
You can ask for it to be designed that way, and yes, you can do it that way. For instance, the planning board does that. They have an associate member, and if they need a supermajority and one person isn't there, that person is allowed to step up. So an associate member fills the slots when somebody is unable to be here.
That's good to know. Thank you. So that hopefully going forward, it will alleviate not having quorums now that we have a full board. Okay. Anything else regarding board member? Any other thoughts?
That covers a lot.
Okay. All right, so we'll move on to citizens' participation. It'll be brief. We'll allow up to 3 minutes if anyone would like to speak.
No, my name is Jim Manise, Cranberry Highway. I watched a select board meeting the other night, and I was kind of surprised when they brought up during their meeting to reduce the number on this board. This board was created under Chapter 40, Section 8B of the general laws, and it needs to be voted on by town meeting. It states that the board, this is our town bylaws now, the board shall consist of 9 members who shall be residents and registered voters of the town. It used to be 11. It was reduced in 2010, I believe, to 9 by town meeting vote. That's the process that needs to be taken for this particular board, as it was created by town meeting. At least that's my belief from having conversations with people who've had a lot of experience. So I was, like I said, I was rather surprised that took place. I would agree that committees that are created by the Board of Selectmen can be changed and reduced by the Board of Selectmen. Those by town meeting, unless specifically stated that the Select Board can do so, change the numbers, then they would be able to do that under even the town bylaws. We did that with the municipal agreement for the refuse district. We made it so that the Board of Selectmen could vote to change the agreement without going to town meeting. Previous to that, they had to go to town meeting. So I just wanted to state that, and also I think in your rules and regulations, it allows, you should review this now. It allows that you can, a quorum is the number the majority of the members on the board at that time. So, you know, you might review that to see if I'm correct on it. You know, so that can help. You only have 7 members, you only need 4, at least by your rules and regulations, for majority. If you had 9, you need 5, blah, blah, blah. So I just wanted to bring that up for clarification, and be it as it may. Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to see?
No, I
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have a question about the form statement, but I'll chat with you in the hallway.
I understand what you're saying. I have a question too, but I'm just stating what the rules and regulations.
That's fine. Thanks, Jim.
And next up on the list is the social media Facebook. I just wanted to update the board on that. Nicole has graciously offered her time to take over
Oh,
the
my
Facebook
goodness.
for us.
Oh.
And I graciously accepted. So it'll really take place in September, but she'll be handling the Facebook, starting with the next beacon that's going to be published in the upcoming. I will remain on the background to help out and be, you know, that extra added person, because it's a lot of work for one person, and if we could spread the wealth. And that brought me up to Marie. I understand that, you know, you'll be leaving or stepping down after our September meeting.
September meeting, yes, because I'll be moving to Florida.
You'll be moving to Florida. Do you still want to be, from between now and September, a backup, or can I remove you from Facebook?
Yeah, why don't you remove me from Facebook when Nicole is taking it, so, yeah.
All right.
So that will, you can step into it gradually, Nicole.
All right, so we will do that. Excellent.
Thanks, Missy.
You're welcome. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll conclude today's meeting at 10:44. Oh,
Thank you.
thank you,
Our clock is
10:47.
in.
Need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, I'm sorry, I need a motion to adjourn.
Oh.
I'm learning.
I make a motion, we adjourn our meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we can adjourn.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.